How does the uncle whose name was Ricky took me advantage? That's right. The bold cheeks can't clap. I cannot tap on the bros. Did you reset? Yes, I did. Because we need to hit this 12K. Come on, chatty watty. Before I fart. My eyeballs be burning. Because you're looking at me. They burning because they looking at me. You know what I'm saying? Say I'm on your mind. You might want to close your eyes. Come on, chat. You can't tell me that wasn't Riz. You can't tell me that was or wasn't. How is it humanly possible just for someone to be for real? Alright, now you hyping me up. Come on, chat. We are 120 away, chat. Chat, we are 120 away. Oh my god, what the freak just happened? How many subs did we just gain in a single second? We just gained 5 subs in a single second? Oh my goodness. You like so? Just go to his house? Facts. Pull up. Home, bro. Try this guy, he's grateful. Yes, sir. Chat, we are almost there. We are 114 away, chat. Come on, chat. We can hit this before 12 a.m. Come on, chat. We're so close. Come on, Chad. We can hit it before 12 a.m. Turn into Minato again? What do you mean? Like my YouTube video, you mean? Like, I have flying Raijin. Chat, I'ma actually, once I get paid, bro, I'ma actually go buy a Minato cape. The Hokage, fourth Hokage cape. I'ma actually cop it. I love your videos. Appreciate that, man. Chat, we finna hit this thing. Yo, bro, are you happy in life? Do you wish you could have done more from a younger age or gone in a different direction, or are you happy with how you are now? If you could change one thing, what? Well, if I can change one thing, it's definitely breeding that whole thing. I'm sorry, that was mean. I'm not sorry at all. I'm gonna know why I'm lying. Come on, chat. We are literally 107 away, chat. We're 107 away. Come on. Oh my gosh, we're getting subs like crazy. We've just been hitting those big sub games like the whole time.
No, don't drink no water.
Come on,
Go
chat.
upstairs.
Let's hit it.
No,
Come on,
go
chat.
upstairs.
Come on, chat. We're literally 104 away right now. You should change your name because you won't play RL anymore. The same reason Dan TDM doesn't change his name, even though he doesn't play Minecraft as much anymore, is the same reason I'm not going to change RL out of my name. It's too iconic. Guacamole, cheese. Nigga, what? I don't understand y'all thought process sometimes, bro. Chat. You doing anything after this or just chat and stream? Well, I'm gonna probably just hop off stream. After like we hit 12K, or I might keep streaming after that, and then whenever I hop off stream, I'm gonna just probably go do something else, like play Mario Galaxy. Super Mario Galaxy 2. Bro, I bought Super Mario Galaxy 2. I bought it, and it came in the mail like a day ago, or a day or two ago. We got it. I have never played this game. Let's go. 11.9K, chat. We're 99 away. I bought this game. God, I have never played this game in my entire life. I've seen videos on it and stuff like that, but I've never, ever played it before. So I'm going to play it to its fullest. I grew up playing Galaxy 1. I have the disc somewhere. I grew up playing Galaxy 1, but I did not grow up playing Galaxy 2, and I regret it. Because it came out at a certain point that I didn't know it came out. And that's when I already stopped playing my Wii at that point. But I still have my Wii right now. I still play it every now and then. I hop on Wii Sports. I always wanted to buy that one. I know, but I love it so much. Yo, why is all homeless people have a Sharpie and cardboard and a dog? Like, is it a starter pack or something? That's crazy, Nick. Why would you say that? Send me $5 and I'll give you the video of TR1 on the floor. I mean, I would send you $5, but I don't have $5 right now. I literally don't have $5 on me right now. I gotta wait until I get paid. How did you get your YouTube name? So I've been Lil Splash for like my whole life. So like Lil Splash is like my gameplay name. Lil Splash God 123 was my gameplay name, and I switched it around a bunch. Hydro Splash, this Splash, Splash does this, but it's always from the beginning been like Splash God. And I started playing Rocket League, and at the time this channel was called Cooley Fanboys 3 because I've had 2 other channels like this growing up, and I wanted to keep the trilogy, but I was playing a bunch of Rocket League and I decided to switch my channel to Rocket League, and so I put Splash Girl as my username, and now it's so iconic and it looks so clean. Are ERs opened at 2 a.m.? Oh, Lord. Don't tell me you killed the real one. Yes, they're opened at 2 a.m. Kinda been a long... Oh, no. Oh, no. He put this nigga on the... Oh, no. Yo, oh my gosh. The sub count is going up like crazy, chat. We finna hit this 12K. Chat, we finna hit this 12K today. Why doesn't it show my sub? It's gonna show it. It takes a while. Don't worry. Can you do a room tour as well? Okay, this isn't my room, but it's my living room. This is my living room. I'm in my corner. I'm not in my room right now. Don't tell me you done killed the real one. Oh my lord. This nigga done killed the real one. My lord. Oh my goodness. House tour, I can't move my webcam from where it is. Can't bring it around the house. Nah, I mean. Chat, we are 70, no, what? 70. We are 90, no. We are 80. I can't count. Chat, we're gonna hit it, chat. We're gonna hit this 12K. Why does 7-Eleven smell guacamole cheese? Okay, bro. I want to go to sleep, but I've watched your live stream for 4 hours, and when you get to 12K, I want you to shout me out, because I've watched it the whole time. I mean, sure. I'll shout you out regardless. Shout out, Christy.
Shout out, Christy. Remember me? Yeah, of course I do. You know?
Chad, is it bad that I can do a pretty good girl voice? Like, is it bad? What are you gonna do after you hit 12K? Celebrate. He's just been on the floor for a while. I think that nigga's dead, bro. You might have to check up on, bro. Dude. One of these days, y'all niggas are gonna accidentally kill each other, bro. Do a house tour? Dude, I have a house tour of my house somewhere in my videos. No, it's not bad because whenever me call you, you just gotta pretend you're a girl. Okay. Alright, chat, let me act like a girl real quick. Let me put on my girl voice. Hold on, because I gotta get, like, kind of, like, into my high voice type stuff, you know what I mean?
Splash, breakfast or lunch pocket?
Damn, I can't do the voice right now.
I personally think I would take the lunch hot pocket. You know, it's really good.
Okay, let me stop, bro. Oh my god, I'm never doing that again. Nah, that gets a triple. You get one. Is it bad that I can... Yeah, that's... Husky, that's crazy. The only thing that is dead is of his chance of being a dad. Oh my god. Well, that was already dead in the first place, XX.
You know.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. What are you gonna do after you hit 10K? What are you gonna do? I just said I'm gonna celebrate hitting 10K. I'm at 12K, you know? We're just gonna celebrate, chat. It's like the whole point of this stream right now, you know? To hit that 12K. Come on, chat, we got 90 to go. We're not finished. Job not finished. Job finished? I don't think so. What the freak am I looking at? I just got to appreciate that. He hasn't moved from that insane position he's in. Bro. Nigga, poke him, bro. Say like, hey, are you good, bro? You good, my nigga? You won't send me a picture of it. You won't. You won't. You won't take a picture of him and send it to me. You won't. I cut ties in his beard. I cut ties in your face. What do you like, all of that? Alright, you see, here's the problem, chat. We want to hit 12K, right? But there's some people in chat who just aren't sub. They're just watching the stream and they aren't sub. But don't worry, I got a method. Oh, I got a method, and it's called the sub genjutsu. The sub genjutsu. Now you might be asking, Splash, what is the sub genjutsu? It's a genjutsu that makes everyone that isn't sub up. Look at that sub count go up. You know you can make chat sub only, right? I could. You're so hardworking. I'm gonna have my kids watch. Wait, you're a full-grown adult? What the freak? You got kids? Chat, I'm about to make the chat sub only. You know what? Freak it. Let's see how sub only goes. Let's see how his sub only chat goes. Let's see. Let's see if I can find it. Freak. Only subs can chat, and you have to be subbed for a minute. Yep, that's how we doing it. Sub only mode. Uh-huh. Ah, 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 ah. Somebody just told me to shake that booty. Buddy, what? Wait a minute, I swear we were just at like 215 when I just changed it. Or 218. And now we're at 924. Come on, chat, we're so close. Chat, we're so close. Not wrong, you should shake it. How about I own a reverse card the whole chat and say y'all should shake it, huh? Huh? Y'all always telling me to shake it. How about y'all do it? Yeah. How does it feel now, chat? How does it feel now, chat? Yeah. Yeah. Now I'm asking y'all now. Yeah. Y'all do that.
Bro, you always playing that sound, bro.
Cause they keep trying me. You know you like it. Indeed. You got me to sub you win? Yes, sir. Alright, Husky, my nigga, chill. We have not hit 12K yet. Come on, chat, we're almost there. I come on see you fall. I know where you go, I get dropped, so as in this spirit. If you make it bounce, so if I twerk, I'll get more subs. Okay, we'll see if that's true. If I shake cheeks, I'll get more subs. Okay. I better expect to see a lot of subs come in. I better expect to see a lot of subs come in. I better expect a lot of subs to start flowing in. I better expect a lot of subs to get in. Why is it actually up? What? Why is it actually going up? That's crazy. I think that theory worked. How about I own a reverse card and everyone else has to do that? Maybe it'll work then. I kinda wanna see you fall. Yo, somebody screenshot this. This is cold. Let me play this with the cold music. Whoops. What do y'all mean, yacht? I haven't even done anything. Some nigga just called me oh, nah. Let's get some more lighting. Come on, chat. Oh my goodness. Look at that arm. Come on, chat. Look at that arm. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. The self-glazing go crazy? Hey, you gotta be confident in yourself, gang. Ooh. Ooh. Shirt pull make it even better. Hold on. Shirt pull make it even better. Come on now. Come on now. Come on, abs. Oh, yay. Oh my gosh. This is beautiful lighting. Come on now. Come on now, chat. That's what you like to see. Come on now, chat. Hey. Hey. Come on now. Well, y'all niggas getting the light and now niggas going crazy. What you mean my dog is breathing heavily because of you? What the freak did your freaky little dog want from me? So. He wants everything for you to like me? Wait, what? I mean, like, who doesn't for real? Let's be honest. Like, hold on, you got a little something on your eye. Let me wipe off the camera lens real quick. Y'all know how I be. I'm unmatched. Ronaldo or Messi? Ronaldo. What you mean and still can't take the trash out? My gums hurt? Tragic. Tragic. My bad. What? This nigga just called me meat beater God RL. Leah, you gotta chill. You banned my alt account? Well, thank you for being smart and snitching on yourself, because now I'm gonna ban that account too, my nigga. Nah, you're good, you're good, you're good. Did this nigga just say Splash is kind of fat? Buddy, what? Alright, my nigga. I mean, this is a great time to flex on you niggas anyways, so. Alright, buddy. Let me get the lighting too. Let me get the lighting too. Let me. Ooh, wait. Y'all niggas hate when a nigga got lighting, because then y'all realize how light I am. I'm not even flexing yet. I haven't even started flexing yet. And I've already basically mogged you out of my freaking face. Alright. First of all, like, come on. How's this fat, buddy? How's this fat? Second of all, ooh, I ain't even flexed yet. I'm not even flexed right now. Hold on. Let me pull one of these. Oh my goodness. Look at those freaking triceps, bro. Come on now. Come on, gang. And I haven't went to the gym in like 6 months. Come on now. This nigga just said your father is fatherless. Buddy, I've probably seen my dad more times than you freaking seen girls, my nigga. I'ma keep it a stack. My father has been in my life, gang. As a matter of fact, my parents are married, my nigga. You like have two zip ties as legs? Nigga, you have never seen my legs, nigga. I have the best calves of all time. Look at oh my god. Look at the meat on that jump. Oh my god. Come on now. We don't want to go down the calves now. Now that's something you can't beat. That's something you can't beat. And it was from a bad angle. And I wasn't even freaking flexed correctly. Hop off tip. You gon' need to do more time to prove it. 'Cause I want you to know you. What should my husky do? I don't know. Tell your husky to subscribe to Splash Get Around and see what he does. If he's trained correctly, he should pull out his phone and sub to me immediately. If not, you're gonna have to beat up bro. Did you just say I have arms like an orangutan? Like, this is my own brother. This is, like, bro. He's on TR1 timing, bro. He's on the real one timing. What do you mean true? Freak you mean true? TR1 is still sleep. Bro, he's dead, bro. You killed him, bro. You just murdered a man. Come on, chat. How many accounts do I have to make? How many accounts do you want to get banned? He's not dead. So you just laid him out on the floor, and then he fell asleep on the floor. Cheek clapper God. Facts. What? I'm kidding. No, I'm not. I am not kidding. Wait, yes I am. What am I talking about? You gon' need to do more time. Hey, I put a blanket over him. Can't say I'm not a good brother. Nigga, you slept him. This nigga actually fell asleep on the floor. Now you can literally say you put that nigga to sleep. Somebody just said I'll donate $50 to twerk. Buddy, what? Money up front, right now. Donate 50 and I'll actually do it. Donate 50 and I'll actually do it. Oh, there's my dog in the center of my bed, pushing my up the side. He's not even a foot tall. Not gonna lie, I would literally pick him up with one hand and just be like, "You're just such a nice dog," but you gonna have to move out the way, my nigga. I didn't mean to kick him that hard. Nigga, dang, bro. You would kill TR1. Freestyle, please. You want it? Chat, do y'all want me to freestyle? Again. On top of that, half of his body is somehow under the mattress. What? You black. Okay. Are you a cat person or a dog person? I love dogs. You want to know why I love... okay, there's some pros and cons to having a dog. Number one, in the puppy stage of having a puppy, do you know how annoying it is to constantly clean up pee and poop in your house? Because for some reason your little puppy is like, "Hey, my bladder's broken. I can't really tell when I'm going to doo-doo or pee, so I'm not even going to say anything. I'm just going to do it anyway." With a cat, you don't got to worry about cleaning up poop or pee. Them niggas are already trained. They come pre-trained. As soon as you get that litter box, you ain't going to catch them peeing or pooping anywhere else. But then again, they are lazy. They don't do nothing but sleep. And they don't even show you some love. I mean, like, Arthur does show me love, though. See, Arthur shows me love. Some cats don't show y'all love. Arthur do. Ain't that right, Arthur? Arthur? Hello? I guess he's not here. Because you're too black to get love. Buddy, my cat shows me love, first of all. Second of all, your name is Frank. Chat, we're about to hit it. Come on, chat. We're freaking 48 away, chat. We're gonna hit that thing. Come on, chat. We have to gain 48 in under 30 minutes because we don't want to hit. We gotta hit that 12K before midnight. This is taking too long. Well, too goddamn bad, buddy. You should tell people to sub up. Job called me to come in and I'm chilling with y'all. Bro, this nigga's gonna lose his job just to watch my stream. I dare you to turn it on 20 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. There you go. That was 20. Y'all want me to hit that thing? Hold on, let me hit that thing. Let me hit that thing. Chat, become a member, chat. I do have memberships. If you want to join me, please do. I'ma need that. We need more members to get more emotes, chat. If you want to become a member and you can, it's just $1 a month, my niggas. I made it as cheap as possible. It's $1 a month, chat. Hey. $100 times now? No, bro. Why his hips moving like that? Nigga, you don't mess with the hips? Never do that again? And what you gonna do if I do it again, young buck? What you gonna do? What you gonna do if I do it again? As a matter of fact, cause you don't tell me what to do, nigga. This is my stream, nigga. I can do whatever I want, nigga. I can do whatever I want, nigga. I can do whatever I want, nigga. This is my stream, nigga. I can do whatever I want, bro, nigga. I can do whatever I want, bucko. I can do whatever I want. Whoever is related to this dude, I'm sorry, Tom. You have another nigga as your profile picture, bro. Come on now. Can you do the... That is not how you spell it. Yeah. Chat, we're 40. We're 37 away now, chat. Recreate the Drake video. Nigga, no. For 1. For 2. Already have. Nah, I'm playing. I'm playing. I'm playing. You still alive? Yeah, I'm trying to hit that 12K. Are you alone? Freak you wanna know for? Hold on, my nigga, what freak you wanna know for? Hold on, cause what you wanna know for? What you trying to get into? Why you acting so suspicious? What if I was alone? What would you do? What would you do if I was? Okay, let me go pee. Chad, I'll be right back. We better not hit 12K by the time I'm done with this pee. Because if we do, I'm farting all over the freaking screen. I almost tripped and fell. I cut ties in this bit. I cut ties in your face. Yo, cut you like a lace. Nothing I do can be replaced. That's why I'm living out in space. I take the money to another level. This nigga just said, let me come in and shake that small boot. What? Oh my god. You go on. I would drop ties in this bit. Drop like flies in this bit. Chat, can't y'all believe that literally like 2 months ago, I was just at 2,000 subscribers? Should I see like Ronaldo? Do you like soccer? I like Ronaldo, but we can get Messi. Soccer is. Wait, that's actually kind of risky.
It's not soccer, Gahyook.
Shut up, nigga. We call it soccer in America. What are you gonna freaking do about it, my nigga? Look at me in my eyes and tell me what you gonna do about it. Yeah, I call this soccer. What are you gonna do about it, nigga? I'm tired of these niggas being like,
Actually, it's football, Gahyook.
I'm actually tired of you niggas. Bro, like, nigga, we call it soccer in America because, you know, we have our own freaking sport called football. That's actually, like, bro. I don't understand. Actually, the scientific term is football. Look, Bubba, let me tell you something. It's soccer in America. So it ain't wrong to call it soccer. And look at this butt booty naked Nick. Dinner? Nigga, it's 11:30. 11:40. It ain't that personal? Do you want to make it that personal, my nigga? Do you got a problem? How you gonna solve it? How you gonna solve it? You don't want the smoke, partner. Beckham? Since you got the name Beckham, I expect you to be Odell Beckham when I expect you to one hand catch these bullets in the end zone. I ain't playing, young fella. Beckham Boss 24. You don't really see who's a boss. Play a scary game? I'm not playing it right now. If I should be a comedian, I'd be terrible at being a comedian. Literally, no one would laugh, bro.
Because I'm a boss, unlike you.
Okay, so Remind me, how many subscribers do you have? Can you do that for me? Now, how many do I have? Does that matter? Yes. In forms of who's the boss here, yes, it really does matter. Oh, it matters. Oh, it matters. In terms of who's really a boss here. But you see, here's the difference between me and you. You're a boss. Nigga, I am a god. Splash God RL.
I'm gonna try to not kill you for today. Hello everybody, I'm Cotton Kean, and I am a fruit doctor, or a cucumber doctor apparently. How does this guy have a hook in his head and he's still sleeping? That's the most impressive part of this entire thing. We need to staple this poor cucumber back together. He's got a bit of a split. Looks very
This nigga just said, no, you ain't, you're a trash can. What the freak type of comeback was that, buddy old pal? Let's see what this is. 10 months ago? Oh, yeah, I'm cooked.
So beautiful, so graceful, so big and juicy.
How is
So
this
beautiful, so
sus?
graceful, so big and juicy.
This was the streaming on YouTube and streaming on Twitch days. Man, this was 10 months ago. That's crazy. Now I'm at almost 12,000 subscribers, bro. Holy. I mean, Splash, I'm not trying to get cocky, but you may be the boss, but do you have the power over how many accounts I have? You know how many accounts you have to create to be this much meat riding, my nigga? Like, at this point, you're not even meat riding, bro. You're just meat gargling, bro. Like, you might as well just freaking cut it up into pieces and put it into a freaking hamburger or something. Or you might as well just cut it up into pieces and make chicken nuggets, my nigga, because there's no way you're glazing this goddamn hard.
We need to cut him. Oh, yeah, you see that?
Like, you have been spamming the same thing for like 10 minutes straight.
Just as shocked as I am.
Golly, buddy.
Alright. Don't. I know exactly what
Are you happy?
many times. Don't.
It's just been like 10 minutes of the same comment over and over and over and over and over. I'm literally not even lying. He's been saying this for 10 straight minutes. For 10 straight minutes. And as a matter of fact, it keeps going. It's like he just loves doing this. He's like, oh yeah. He just gets a kick out of this one. How is this fun? I don't understand.
Oh, this is so satisfying. This is the best. Okay. Feeling good? Because I'm feeling great. I feel like I actually know what I'm doing, kind of. Look, he fell back asleep. He's so comfortable. He's so at ease with his new doctor that he literally fell asleep while hanging from the hook. Next customer, please. Goodbye, banana. Ooh. Oh.
Explain that one? I was talking about the big pot, wasn't I? Yo, chat, we're almost there. We are 26. I said we are 26 away.
Wow. That is uncomfortably satisfying.
7, I'll take it. 7 people, I'll take it.
Pause, bro.
Berries. Yeah.
I was talking about the amount of viewers I had.
There's something about it. I'm glad that
Come on, man.
open it now.
Come on, man. Freestyle. Why are y'all all telling me to freestyle? Okay, chat, type 1 if I should freestyle. Type 1 if I should freestyle. Everyone's typing everything but freaking 1. Okay, no one wants you to really freestyle. that? Alright, the real one. Alright, buddy. Alright, child, we get it. Alright, child, we're 20. And I repeat, we're 23 away, child. Let's hit this 12K. Let's hit this 12K. This 12K.
Could be a sentencing option. There's a condition of your discharge and your release, and you have to abide by those conditions. The court will say, don't get arrested, don't get in trouble for the next year during the pendency of your sentence, or for a period of time. And that's it. You're not checking in, no one's following up with you, there's no probation, there's no oversight. All options, experts say, reflective of
Alright.
striking uniqueness of this situation.
This is completely uncharted territory.
Child, I'm gonna need to ask, why did one of my viewers just send me a picture of this? Now, specifically, I'm talking to J17 when I see this. Buddy, what do you mean I'm the cheek clap god? What? What do you mean by that? Huh? What do we mean by I'm the cheek clap god, buddy? Oh, nah.
Spawning him is the same, except it's netherite. You can only spawn this guy in the nether, and the difference between him and the diamond golem is you can't tame him. Instead, he just tries to kill you the second he spawns. If you do kill the netherite golem, you only get one netherite back, so basically he is useless unless you want to start a golem fighting ring or something. The furnace golem is spawned using furnaces, obviously, and he's probably one of the most useful golems I added. If you right-click this guy with an item that needs to be smelted,
Nah.
smelt it for you.
Getting caught lagging that crazy, it's crazy. Nah, y'all are wildin'. Do you eat toothpaste with rum? No, I don't. Stop asking me if I eat toothpaste with something, Noel. You know what, Noel? I've had about enough of your shenanigans, my nigga. You about to make me crash out. Nope, you about to make me crash out. He did it. Yep, I've been tired of him saying this. Nah, cause you wanted to keep going crazy, right? Nah, cause you wanted to keep saying it over and over again, right? Nah, don't try to take it back now, buddy. Don't try to take it back now. Nah, I'm gonna do my own thing. And don't worry about me missing. When I got the Sharingan on, I can't miss. I wear no reaction. Nah, cause I'm about freaking tired of all these niggas talking about this. Talking about some, do I eat toothpaste? Nigga, of course I don't eat freaking toothpaste with noodles, nigga. Do you think I'm some absolute freaking science experiment, my nigga? Do you think I just freaking eat booty cheeks and freaking duty meat, nigga? Do you like it when I freaking, Do you want me to freaking eat straight bare booty cheeks off of the plate, nigga? Do you want me to freaking grab some crack cocaine off the freaking floor and just freaking put it in my booty? You know what I mean? Like, all you niggas talking all that stuff, bro. Like, trust me, when I catch you, my nigga, do not expect to take 65 bullets straight in your freaking butt. Okay, let me chill. You better not ever do that again, buddy. Alright, chat, we're on back to normal. What a normal stream, right, guys? Right, guys? Right? Yo, chat, we're 14 away. Chat, we're 14 away. Chat, nothing happened. Nothing just happened. We were just talking. We were just talking. We were just having a nice day. Like, why do niggas actually ask stupid questions like that, bro?
Obviously found in cold biomes, this guy creates a trail of snow underneath him wherever he walks. And when he attacks you, he will actually throw snowballs at you. Totally an original mob design. If you kill this zombie, you will get some frozen flesh. And upon trying to
Okay. Alright, Andy Lucas. We can't be having those, bro. We cannot be having those. I'm not gonna lie. Andy, we cannot be having those. Y'all niggas is crazy. Hi Splash, it's maybe been like 5 minutes since I made this account. How did he get into YouTube with that account name? I have no idea. I don't understand it myself, but it is what it is.
I decided to make the first cow just a default cow, except it's black and white. But after that, I added everyone's favorite flower cows. I added the Moolip and the Moobloom, which both can spawn inside of flower forests. If you milk the Moolip, it will give you Moolip milk, and if you milk a Moobloom, you get
It's a freaking crazy name. There's no way that YouTube let him get by. What will you do when you hit 12K? Celebrate.
But the Moobloom milk, on the other hand,
What type of question is that? Come on, Chad. We're 14 away.
it's your fault if you drink this anyways. This does not look like something you should drink. The next cow is the evil cow, who likes to hurt you. That's really it. He also drops redstone, which is supposed to
What even is getting your... Well, I looked it up yesterday. What's getting your gums lasered?
mobs have added so far, as it's able to
But
fly.
golly. What if they, like, mess it up and they hit a nerve? Do you die?
The ghost cow is also aggressive like the evil cow, but
Okay, so what you gonna do if you hit 12K?
okay, I still died.
Nigga, I just answered this question. I'm going to celebrate. Like, thank you guys for 12K. I appreciate it. You know, because I've been streaming for, like, hours.
So I decided to add the blue creeper to the game next. You can find a blue creeper
And right after this stream, I'm gonna go play Super Mario Galaxy 2 for the first time in my life.
for some reason he has no animation.
Even though I've known about this game for years and years and years. I grew up playing Galaxy 1, not Galaxy 2. Which means that before I play Galaxy 2, I need to replay Galaxy 1. And since I also bought a nunchuck, I get to replay both games. Which is just a great old time for me. I might stream it, but I don't know. I don't even have a HDMI adapter.
Fast for some reason, and if you want some of that speed for yourself, you can actually ride the pig creeper just like you can ride a normal pig. Just be careful while riding in survival, or this might happen. The skull creeper can be found in the deep dark, and it infects anything it stands on, kind of like a snow golem, but with skull. If you kill a skull creeper, all you get is some skull veins. So this skin is definitely one of the best looking mobs so far. So I still add things. The last creeper is the new creeper, which is the only creeper that doesn't explode. The new creeper doesn't really do anything, and it only has half a heart, so it only takes one punch to kill it. He also drops a flower if you kill it. That's it. The chicken has been in the game for a long time, so let's make some chicken snacks. First, I had to add the best mob of all time, a dove.
Ooh, Chow, we're 12 away.
Impossible to kill in order to
BI show speed when you hit them. Chat, what are y'all talking about? Did this nigga know, bro?
these guys to take
This nigga Noel just said, did Joe Biden have a massive boot? Bro, like, what is wrong with you niggas, bro?
apparently they were stupid. So since they
That man is like literally 85 years old.
chicken spawns in the nether, and he's mainly found in soul sand valleys. If you get in a fight with a nether chicken, you'll find he sets you on fire when he hits you, and after
How
killing the nether
old
chicken,
is Joe Biden?
to happen, but I'm
This nigga is 80 years old, bro. 81 years old.
also made an ender.
He entered the office at age 78.
Just like a normal enderman. Ender chickens make the same sounds as endermen, and when you kill one of them, it drops an ender pearl as well. The only difference is the ender
My
chicken
gosh.
he doesn't know how to do that. Next, I added some spiders to the game, and somehow these were some of my favorite mobs. This spider
Donald Trump is 77. Barack Obama is 62. Golly.
spawn in the deep dark. And I also made it give you the darkness effect, just like the warden when it attacks you. The next spider is a toxic spider, which is basically just a cave spider, but it can spawn anywhere. I will say it moves much faster than a cave spider though, which I don't know. I'm pretty sure cave spiders don't give poison too, so this guy actually might be a little OP. The Reaper spider is something you don't want to run into, which is why I gave it a boss bar to let you know if it's in your area. The Reaper spider is the same as the toxic spider, except it does more damage. When it bites you, it gives you all of these effects. The fact that Steve is able to survive a bite from this guy just proves he's built different, because this spider is insane. One of my favorite spiders is the ice spider, which spawns in cold biomes, and instead of cold effects, it just freezes you upon biting you. I also just noticed these spiders do an absurd amount of damage.
Never mind. I don't think I'm gonna be in this time after all. Well, when you get a huge change of freaking subscribers and it's a talking stream like this, it's gonna get wild. Chat, we're 8 away. Let's hit this thing. Notice that the chat is on sub only, and there's a lot of chats. Only subs can chat right now.
best design. Anyways, he drops the totem when you kill him, but you're probably not going to be able to do that, at least without the help of the other wardens. A warden you will be able to kill though is the new warden. The new
Oh
warden
my.
is similar to the new creeper, except you
We're about to hit it.
using skull catalysts.
We're about to hit it.
Be careful about where you bring your
We're about to hit it.
because one hit from anything and you're dead. The last warden in the
We're about to hit it.
mob of the video is probably
We're about to hit it.
the smallest ever added.
We're about to hit it.
I don't know why I added Shrek. I just saw him and thought it was funny.
We're about to hit it.
Shrek spawns in a swamp and he is passive until he finds you in a swamp. Now that we've added all these mobs, the question is, does this make Minecraft better? I don't really know if better is the word, but the game is definitely a lot more interesting with all these new mobs in the game, so I'm going to have to say yes, Minecraft is better.
Come on, we're 5 away, chat. Come on. Lock in. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I'll give you $100 if you say F chop, F chop. Oh, yes. Oh, yep. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. We'll take it off sub only now. Oh yeah, we hit it, we hit it. We hit it, we hit it. We hit it. We hit it. We hit it, we hit it. We hit it, we hit it. We hit it, come on. Oh yeah, that did it. Yeah, that did it. There's no way that didn't do it. Yep, we hit it. We hit it. We hit it. We literally hit it. Another day, another milestone in the books. Another day, another milestone. Let it freaking go. We hit it right before 12 a.m. We literally hit it right before 12 a.m. We hit it literally a minute before 12 a.m. We literally hit it a minute before 12 a.m. That's freaking crazy. Oh my gosh, comma. We've gained 3K subs in such a short amount of time. We've gained... Look at this, chat. Look at these stats. Oh my god. Oh, what the freak. So beautiful. 29K 665 watch time hours, 2.6 thousand subs, and 150 bucks. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. We are in the big leagues now, bro. Chat, we are going crazy. In 7 days, we've gotten 30K. What the? Bro, the May analytics go crazy. Oh my goodness. We are going crazy, chat. 12,000 subs, chat. 12,000 subs. That's crazy. That's crazy. 3,000 of y'all, man. 12,000 of y'all. Holy. We're at 12K already. What did we start today with? Let's see what we started today with. Well, technically it's tomorrow or yesterday. We started yesterday with 11,600. We started that day with 11,600 and hit 12K just like that. Holy. We are going. Were you playing Bloxfruits? I was, yeah. We were going crazy, chat. Holy. Until that guy that said I would never reach 11K. Hey, buddy, old pal, I want you to take a good look at my sub count now from my bans list, because I know you're banned from my chat and you're probably still watching because you're just that much of a freaking meat writer. But look at my freaking sub count now, my nigga. Oh my goodness. Chat, I'm not gonna lie. I'm about to hop off stream and play a whole bunch of Super Mario Galaxy because I need to take a nostalgic trip down memory lane. But hey, what a W stream. What a W stream. Can you stream it? I don't have an HDMI port for it. The HDMI to adapter. I don't have it. And I'm broke right now, so I can't buy it. But, yeah. Y'all want to hit me up, make sure to follow the socials. I do got Discord. But hey, it was a good stream now. Yeah. Beautiful streams. Beautiful dubs, beautiful streams, beautiful we made money. Like, chat, we are getting banned. How much money have we made so far? We've made like $200 now, bro. Like, off of YouTube already. That's easy. There's been like over 100 purchases of super chats. Like, golly, you guys are going crazy. Let me check, cause you guys are going mad crazy. I'm not gonna lie. Look at you guys, bro. Like, look at all these Yo, shout out to all these donations, chat. Shout out to everyone who donated, bro. Especially shout out to my nigga Mason with the $50. Oh my god. Look at this, bro. Like just look at all these big donuts. Like you guys are crazy, bro. Like you guys are just crazy, bro. Hey. Also want to give a huge shout out. Let me make sure I don't leak anything on accident. Okay, we're not gonna leak anything. Let's go to recent member activity. Also, big shout out to every single member in here. If you want to become a member, just click the join button on my YouTube channel. If you're on iOS, it might be a little different. Just search up if you're on iOS, it might be a little different. So what you're gonna do, chat? We're actually gonna go to YouTube and I'll show you the tutorial. Become a member. Member on iOS. Chat. Oh my gosh. Become. You'll figure it out, chat. But yeah. You have to go on, Safari and go to get request desktop website, and then you'll be able to join a member if you want to become a member of the channel. Because we're going to be doing some member only things soon, chat. $50, don't make me laugh. It's too late to be laughing. Alright, Mr. The Real One. Let me see you drop $50 then, The Real One. Since it's so funny, The Real One. Let me see you drop more than 50. It's so funny, right, The Real One? Let me see you drop 50 right now. Don't worry, that day is around the corner. Oh no. This man's gonna come back and drop like 300. Alright, chat. This is the end of the stream. Hey. How you know? What do you mean how I know? Yeah, he's gonna. So I wasn't lying. Guess you a Mar. He's gonna drop like 200. Bro, there's no way this nigga actually is gonna be my first donator to drop over $100. No way. Wait a minute, The Real One, you're alive? Wait a minute, hold on. Didn't XX he supposedly knocked you out? And then he knocked you on the floor, and then you fell asleep, and then he put a blanket over your head. Didn't he supposedly do that? I got up and left to the living room. So XX lying now? Oh nah. Oh nah. Oh no. I feel bad for XX now. He's cooked. Look behind you. Oh my god. There's a giant freaking TV behind me. Oh my god, I'm so scared. Destiny, you had me scared with that. Wait a minute. What the freak is that profile picture? I can't see it, but it looks like freaking bouncing. I don't know. Alright, chat. I'm gonna end the stream. But, hey, it's my dog. Is it actually your dog? Hold on, let me check. Is that actually your dog? It literally looks like a girl in a bra. Thank you for that information, chat. Oh my gosh. Is it actually her dog? Oh my god, that is not a dog. That is not your dog. That's literally you. What? What? It's literally you. Bro, from here, with how small this looks, it literally looks like some girl in just a freaking tank top. Alright, it's a monkey, like you. Okay, okay. I'm muted, but it's okay. It's okay. You said a monkey like who now? I'm gonna need you to repeat that. Say monkey if you think Smash Gonna Rose hot. Oh, they're spamming monkey. Splash, my friend said you had a guy. Is that true? And his name is the Big Butt Crack. What? There ain't no way. There just ain't no way. There just ain't no way. Question about you. Do you eat pizza? Okay. No, you got one more chance. Nigga, if you ask me if I eat something with toothpaste one more time, not only am I gonna ban you from my chat, but I'm going to instant transmission to the back of your freaking nugget, bring a baseball bat, and I'm gonna hit you like a home run. Thought you were ending stream? I am about to end stream. You gonna need to do more time to prove it. Wait, chat. There's something on the camera lens. Let me clean it real quick. I know how it be, nah, I mean. Bro thinks he's gonna get edited. It's a possibility. Hold on. Ha ha. Ha ha. Alright, y'all, let me go to bed, bro. Leah is a guy? No, that's a girl. Ouch, motherfucker. Alright, chat, I'm in the stream. I'll see y'all tomorrow.